started. These are going to be focused towards my back. If you have any back or hip issues, this will help alleviate it. But first, we're going to start off with press-ups. We have limited space in here, so just work with me. We're going to do press-ups or a cobra pose or an up dog. Your hands are going to be underneath your shoulders, and you're slowly going to press up from the floor. And you want to think of pushing the shoulders away from your ears. We're going to do 10 reps. And the goal here is to relax the lower body, keep everything nice and relaxed. Don't squeeze the butt. If you can't do this full range of motion, you can modify it to doing a modified press up or seal. All right, I think that's about 10 repetitions. Then we're gonna come to a plank position, and we're gonna focus on just our pelvis, so just our lower back. We're going to tuck and then extend, and same thing, we're gonna do 10 repetitions here. The focus is just to work the pelvis, working on flexing or tucking, and then extending or arching your back. Same thing with our hands, they're directly underneath our shoulders. We're gonna do 10 reps. We're working on small range of motion here. If you have any sciatic pain, or if you were flying or driving for a lot, these are some great exercises you can incorporate. Next one, we're gonna get into a lunge, a dragon position. Same thing, we're gonna put our hands on our hips, tuck the hips under, and then extend. 10 repetitions. This is just a nice and easy warm up if you, like I said, flew, drove, if you sat a lot, if you haven't moved and haven't stretched, this is a great way to incorporate some range of motion in the pelvis, especially if things get very tight in the hip area for you. I flew and then rented a car and then sat and then had dinner and sat. I've been driving a lot. So we're doing 10 repetitions here. Then we're gonna do a twist. We're gonna lunge forward and twist slightly. Your range of motion is minimal, but you should feel a stretch, a rotation here in the hip and inner thigh. Same thing, 10 repetitions across the board today. Most of this is gonna be one round. The only thing that we're gonna do after we finish all these exercises are gonna be a closing set of the press ups. So notice I try to twist, rotate, opening my hip, inner thigh here. 10 reps on one side, and then we'll switch. Same thing kind of here, if you can see, I'm tucking and then extending. Tucking and extending. We want to focus on that knee joint being underneath your hip on the left side if you have your left leg down. And if the right leg is up, you're going to have the right knee stacked on top of the right ankle. So again, 10 reps, and then same thing, we're going to twist, rotate. And as I twist, rotate, my knees kind of going forward over my midfoot, big toe-ish. For twisting, rotating. I love this stretch because I get a good, nice rotation of that hip joint, a little bit of inner thigh. Oops. So if you need exercises and you're traveling literally in your hotel and you don't want to go to the gym, or there's no hotel gym, or it's crazy down there, you could literally do these in your hotel room. I think that's about 10. All right, so I'm gonna come back down to the ground. We'll do one more set of the press ups. My lower body is nice and relaxed. We're looking for some extension here, so pressing up, pressing from the floor. I like to look towards the sky, push the chin out. If you guys are new here and following along, thanks for joining in. If this is helpful and beneficial and you like this, please feel free to share with others. My focus is to reach others and help others find confidence through fitness and movement. Fitness and movement, I believe, will help us feel physically stronger, but also mentally stronger as well. It can help with both the physical and mental aspect. I think that's about 10. All right, now we're gonna flip on over. And we're gonna do some flossing with our legs. So I'll show some variations of this. We're gonna essentially lay down on our back. We're gonna start with our left leg up, interlock our hands at the base of the knee, and then we're just gonna extend our leg, keeping our foot neutral versus pointing or very flexed. If you want to make it harder, you can kind of flex the toe. If you need to make it easier, you can point the toe. But just 10 repetitions, nice and easy. These are part of my back / hip / sciatica exercises. So when I sit a lot and I fly a lot or drive a lot, my right hip acts up a lot. All the sitting irritates it. So these are the series of exercises I go through that hopefully will help you as well. All right, I think that's about 10. This side, it gets a little tighter, so I go maybe a little bit slower, so you can go slower with this. I will say, if you have been dealing with sciatica pain, be patient in the process. I started dealing with it last end of May, June. It got really worse like June, July. So it's been over, what, I think 7 months now, 8 months. Yeah, about 7 months. So it's taken some time. I've been very proactive about doing it. I don't know if you guys can hear my knee. 10. All right, so next one we're gonna do a 30-second figure 4 hold. So while we're here, you can either push the thigh away. If this is all you can do, stay here. If you want more, lift that leg. You can grab your ankle, calf, pull that leg into the body. Other option is to interlock your hands at the base of the thigh, hamstring, pull the leg to your body. Or if you'd like, grab at the base of the thigh, or base of the knee, excuse me, and pull in. I'm really tight, so this is a challenge. But the intention is to kind of push your pelvis down, so you're trying to get your lower butt all the way up to your upper back in contact with the ground here. And then we're gonna switch 30 seconds on one side and same thing on 30 seconds on the other side. So remember, you can start here or go here, which on this side, I'm gonna stay here. But again, the focus here is to work on opening that hip, especially on that glute and hip. So again, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. We're actually gonna do this set 2 times. So everything we did before, we did 1 set of the press ups, 1 set of all the exercises I just demonstrated, and then we closed with that 1 set of the press ups. So essentially 2 total sets of that. And then for this, we're doing the back and forth of the knee, or like flossing, hamstring flossing, and then we're doing the figure 4 stretch. So again, floss, 10 reps. One more. Good, and switch. You can also play around, like I said, with your foot ankle position. You also play around with the knee. If it's really tight, you can lower the leg and grab the thigh. I will say, when I first started these exercises on my right side, it was near impossible to get completely straight like this, and I was actually having to be at an angle. It was brutal. So if you are working with or working through that pain, I totally understand. Be patient, but be proactive. I have a variety of exercises here on my platform that I've shared in terms of sciatic pain, back pain, hip pain, but the stretching will definitely help, but also doing exercises to strengthen surrounding areas. All right, I think that was 10. Good, last one here. So I will say, as you get into the second round, see if you can go a little deeper into the stretch here. Again, I'm trying to create a figure 4. We'll rotate a little bit. So figure 4, again, my hips and glutes are really tight, but you can grab the knee, thigh, ankle, and then just try to focus on relaxing to the floor, pushing your pelvis to the ground. If you guys are tuning in here, thank you guys for joining on a Saturday morning. Good, 7 more seconds. You can even push that thigh out. So think of pushing not just on the knee joint, but above or below that knee joint to get an extra stretch. And then we'll switch, same thing. And I'm just using my watch to keep track of time or keep track of the rounds, especially here for the 30 seconds. So you can use your phone, your watch, anything you have access to. So after this, we're gonna do a series of back exercises. We're also gonna do, before we get to that, we're actually gonna do one of the world's greatest stretches. It is one of the best exercises for your hips. I need to do more of it. I tell myself I need to do it all. Well, not do it all, but do this all the time, but it is great exercise. All right, come on up. We're gonna take a little coffee break. All right, so world's greatest stretch. We're gonna come up. We're actually literally gonna use a couch, but it's called a couch stretch. We're gonna use a couch, or technically a chair. But I'm gonna put my knee on the ground. If your knee is really irritated, you can always use a pillow right there for your knee. But you're gonna put your knee close to the couch, foot on top. Opposite leg's gonna come up here to the side. And again, we're gonna hold here for about a minute on one side, a minute on the other side. If the minute is too much, you can do 3 seconds, 45 seconds, 20 seconds if it's really tight. But while I'm here, I can focus on pushing my hips forward, so towards the ground. My ankles underneath my knee. If you want more of a hamstring stretch, you can walk your foot forward a little bit more. Eventually, you may get to the point where you go all into a straight leg stretch. I'll do that sometimes. Today, I'm really tight, clearly. So it's hard to get into that right now. You can also twist, rotate. You can also push up towards the couch. Now, the only thing here that you want to worry and concern yourself about is if I'm pushing my butt back and my chest is forward. We really want to focus, if I'm pushing my hip back, I'm also leaning my upper body back. So that's going to get a big, nice stretch in the hip flexor, the quad, the psoas, the rib cage. Remember, if it's too much, come back down here and then focus on driving hips forward. You also can squeeze your butt, squeeze really tight, and then let loose. Squeeze really tight, and then let loose. If you guys know what movie that's from, drop a comment. All right, next minute. So same thing, knee next to the ab mat, or next to the ab mat, takes the couch, and then other leg comes up. Now, if you're really tight, you can also, instead of having your knee and shin close to the couch or bed or whatever you're using, wall, you can even make your knee come further out. So essentially be like a V. So instead of being vertical, my knee will be further out. And then opposite leg, same thing, knee to the hip. Again, you can walk it forward. Once I'm a little more flexible or a little less tight, I can get into this position, which I'm getting into it. I'm really having to twist and torque my hips. I don't even have to bend my knees, it's really tight. But as I've gotten older, I'm 39 years young. I'll be 40 in March, which is crazy because I still think of myself as like 26. I'm like 40, like that's just like the same thing as 26. It's not, but I will say as you get older, things get tighter in terms of your body, right? Hips might get tighter, shoulders might get tighter. So being able to stretch and mobilize and move your body is super important. I'm starting to do a little bit more mobility stuff, so if you guys are interested in that, please feel free to drop a comment. It's not just about stretching, but it's about band and joint mobility. Get rid of coming out. So if you're interested in that, feel free to let me know. All right, so next series of exercises we're gonna do for our back. We have about 5 more minutes left. So the first one we're gonna do, we're gonna lay down on our back. We're gonna do a glute bridge. Feet are parallel to each other. We're gonna squeeze your butt, lift our hips, hold for a second or two, and then come back down. We're gonna do 10 reps with just both legs. I'm gonna try to count with my hand as I talk, but the intention is here for the heel and the big toe to be driving into the floor as I lift my hips. And I wanna try to get my hips as high as I can. I think I lost count a little bit, we're just gonna keep going. Once I've completed 10, then I'm gonna lift one leg. I'll lift my hips, lift the leg, and then we're gonna come back down, and then we're gonna switch. So we're doing a single leg glute bridge with lifting that leg. We're alternating. So I'll lift the hips, leg comes up. Damn, I forgot I lost count. I'm trying to make sure I do those sides. So again, lift, one leg comes up, back down. Lift, one leg comes up, back down. So the purpose of this is, one, I use both legs to get my hips up, but then I lift my one leg to see if I can keep my hips square to the ceiling or the sky. If the hips drop, then that might show an inconsistency or an imbalance with your body, right? So let's just do one more for shits and giggles, right? So there you have 10. So if I lift my one leg, my hips really drop, then we can tell, all right, maybe my glute or hamstring or that right leg's a little less strong. Next, we're gonna grab our legs, pull them into our body, little mini tuck, then we're gonna tap our heels to the ground. Obviously don't tap super loud if you're in a hotel room like I am, but we want to think of pulling the knees in, little mini tuck. This can get some flexion in the lower back. We're gonna do a total of 10 here. 10 is a special number today. So we did 10 glute bridges, 10 single leg alternating glute bridges. So a total of 20 if you think about it. And then we're doing 10 reverse tucks or pelvis tucks here. Next, we're gonna lift up into a dead bug. We're gonna keep our lower back into the ground, extending arms and legs, extend one leg, opposite leg comes out, coming back to center. So if my right leg goes out, left arm goes back, and then I come back to center. And then we're alternating hands here. While I'm doing this, I'm trying to maintain lower back, ouch, into the floor. Don't hit the bench or the table that you have in front of you. While I'm doing this, lower back is in contact with the ground. I'm kind of creating a mini tuck with my pelvis, and I'm keeping that engaged. So this is gonna work your core as well. And again, special number, 10 on each side, so here 20 total. Palms are facing each other, and as I extend that leg out, I'm trying to keep the knee over the hip, or ankle almost on my knee. I don't know what number this is, we'll just do 2 more. So if you don't do much of these, you will feel it in your core, lower back, pelvis. Again, if you're not able to do that because of your back or pelvis, that's fine. You can always modify it if need be. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to drop me a comment. Hopefully these were helpful and beneficial for you. I got some comments in here. Can you do glute isolations? Those are not push-ups. Yeah, they're not push-ups, they're press-up, Petro. Awesome. So glute isolation. So last question, can you do glute isolation? Yes, for glute isolation, you could focus on a single leg glute hold or a glute bridge hold. And again, it was not a push-up, it's called a press up. So you're pressing up. It's also called an up dog, also could be called, there's a couple different yoga names for the movement as well, but like a cobra, right, or a modified cobra, or a seal position, right, where you're pressing that up. So some variations. So if you guys enjoyed this, find this helpful and beneficial, please share with others. I would love your support by sharing this with others. If you guys have any questions, drop the comments below, and I hopefully will do more of these. Have a beautiful Saturday and a great weekend. I'll see you guys next time.